What's good with y'all boys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we reacted to what if Goku turned Super Saiyan? Or no, not what if Goku turned Super. What if you turned Super Saiyan? My bad, y'all, my bad. I didn't get the words to comprehend and stuff like that. Let me scoot this chair up a little. I ain't gonna lie, man. I tried doing the Kamehameha blast when I was like a little kid, when I was watching this and stuff. And when I heard of Dragon Ball and stuff like that. Because I knew it was like a show I never watched. I just didn't really watch it because I didn't really know it. I didn't know it was actually good like that until I seen it. That's when I tried to really do the Kamehameha blast or try to go Super Saiyan or something like that. I even tried to do the Ultra Instinct type move, bro. Because I thought my instincts were really Ultra Instinct.
What?
You're probably like, what? Yeah, I know. Weird, right? I really thought I was like that. But, yeah, it's not life. You know what I mean? It's not life. You being a kid. Your imagination can be anything that you imagine can be real once you imagine it, you know? That's facts at the end of the day, but in reality, bro, you can't crawl on the walls and swing on buildings like Spider-Man. You can't actually you could do a Superman on a floor as a workout, but you can't do a Superman in the sky like Superman. So yeah, this video is basically talking about what if you actually turned into a Super Saiyan. I think it would be very, very crazy if anybody attempted that. Even the Super Saiyan 3 is crazy. Let me know if y'all want me to watch that next. But even the Super Saiyan 3 or any type of Super Saiyan, that will cause your body to go insane. Like, I can't even say what will be caused in your body that will go crazy or what will be bad for your body. Like, it's all gonna be good at the same time, like tiring, you know? You're gonna get tired when you're trying to do that. I think it's basically like taking this basically, but I'm not gonna waste y'all time. Let's get to this video. Hopefully y'all like, subscribe. If you are new, be sure to comment below what your favorite part in this video is. Subscribe if you do enjoy this channel. Let's get to it.
Everyone at one point or another in their life has tried to go Super Saiyan. It's natural, I'll admit it, you can admit it, it's a safe space. And while like me, you probably failed, what if you actually succeeded? What if you went Super Saiyan? What would you be capable of? How strong would you be? Could you actually solo the world? Today we're going to figure that out. Let's jump into it. Before we get into any of the fun stuff, we need to establish a couple things to actually
soloing the world is crazy, bro. That means you soloing everything. You soloing animals, mountains, criminals, people that you hate, bullies that you hate, people that you associate with, your friends, your family. God damn! This man's saying soloing everything, bro. That means everything. Soloing your own home.
Give us some perspective and give us a basis for which this
soloing, hell, probably even soloing the government or like the president or some, the police, the law. Soloing the law is crazy.
Is the Super Saiyan multiplier, which is super straightforward. It's told to us directly in the Daizenshuu, where it's stated to be a 50 times amplification on a Saiyan's baseline physical parameters, specifically speed, strength, and overall ki output by 50 times. They just get 50 times stronger. It's not really
I mean not a lot of speed, but it's basically like if you get buff in the gym. That's basically what it's like when you're done raging stuff for it.
A good metric in series that would allow us to see how ridiculous the jump would be the farmer with a shotgun, who is noted by Raditz Scouter to have a power level of 5. If this out of shape farmer with a shotgun were to go Super Saiyan, he would then have a power level of 250, 5 times 50, 250. This would allow him to soar past juggernauts in original Dragon Ball like Master Roshi, who had a power level of 180, and put him right next to Goku and King Piccolo with their power levels of 260. This being a version of Goku who had drank the Super God Water and awakened his hidden power, being noted on par with King Piccolo, with this same King Piccolo in the Daizenshuu being noted to be capable of easily blowing away a city and having power that rivals that of a small nuclear bomb. Not saying the farmer is capable
You know
of
what's weird? I wonder if Master Roshi is able to really go Ultra Instinct. And I know it's a type of that you never heard before, but hear me out, bro. I seen him talk about like, oh, this form, it's inevitable or something like that. He was speaking about the form like he's experienced it or felt someone's energy or seen someone experienced it before. You know, he was talking about the form like he has seen it before. You know, in a tournament of power, yes. Him, Beerus, and Whis, but that's basically it. But I wonder if he can. Or maybe not because he's human and he's not a Saiyan. But let me know in the comments. I don't know. I actually don't know. I know Super Saiyans. I know Saiyans can only turn Super Saiyans. So Ultra Instinct though, I think that's different probably. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
speeds, but
I know Goku Black can. If he gets the power to.
See the levels that we would be approaching in some sense. Let's break down some easy numbers to give us some perspective. Let's say your bench press is 225 pounds for a 1 rep max. If you were to go Super Saiyan, your bench press would shoot up to 11,250 pounds. This would allow you to bench press a few different things.
If you say your mom, you're fired.
You bench pressing so... Wait, hold on, what?
Bench press a few different things.
If you say your mom, you're fired.
What?
Such as a large African elephant, a loaded ambulance, a medium-duty box truck, a small orca, or 2 large SUVs, most of which operate on the 10 to 12,000 pound spectrum. What about speed? Well, if we take the average mile somebody in their...
you pulling everything, bro. You pulling even the moon. You're pulling the moon. You're carrying the moon with Super Saiyan.
20s would be able to run, that being 8 to 10 minutes, then you get some pretty interesting metrics. You would be able to finish that mile not in minutes but in seconds. That 8 mile would turn into 9.6 seconds, the 9 mile would turn into 10.8 seconds, and the 10 mile would turn into 12 seconds. So you'd run the mile in roughly 9.6 to 12 seconds. This totals out to an average speed of 300 to 375 miles per hour. This will make you fast.
Cap, bro. Cap. That's how tough this is, man. That's how bro. I need to not agree with what he's saying. Just to like agree, like, oh yeah, this is what you go through once you turn into a Super Saiyan. Yes, like you run that Pacific Mile. You run like seconds before before anyone notices that you ever ran. It's like an instant transmission.
Faster than pretty much every super.
There's no way you can run that
car on the planet, even faster than
unrealistic,
Formula 1
man.
cars that are able to reach peak straight line speeds of about 220 to 235 miles per hour. In fact, this would actually put you closer to smaller aircrafts in general, which more so travel around the 200 to 400 mile per hour range. Using the absolute fastest metric in that you actually ran the mile in the fastest time, then you would at your best, that being 375 miles per hour, be able to move at Mach 0.49, just under half of Mach 1 or the speed of sound. While I would like to talk about flying speed, you actually would not have the innate ability to
I'm
fly.
fast, but I'm not as fast as that, bro. I'm not as fast as this. This is a speed of the moon and light.
Huh?
This is the speed of the moon and light, bro. I know Kaioken was kind of, but this officially is kind of. It is really. once you turn Super Saiyan 2 too, like it's just gonna increase that. It's gonna increase that speed.
Why? Let me explain. First, I have to talk about Ki, which is known as the latent energy or fighting power that directly translates to light force in Dragon Ball. This force is tangible energy inside of every living being, and by drawing out, an individual is able to manipulate it and use it outside the body. Every living being has the ability to manipulate it to some degree, although most don't know how to utilize it. Because there is a upper limit or physical limits to the strength of the body, it's generally necessary to increase one's Ki to overcome this barrier and just become stronger all around. If you actually recall from Dragon Ball Z, Goten was able to turn Super Saiyan, yet was unable to fly. In Dragon Ball, flight or the sky dancing art is actually a technique that requires a user to manipulate their inner Ki. The general idea is that the character in question is putting their Ki underneath them, forcing it down similar to an engine or helicopter, and then pushing air down to rise from above the ground. You're like Goten in this situation where you haven't done any formal training with your Ki, so you wouldn't be able to use Ki techniques, at least initially. Considering humans in Dragon Ball can learn to manipulate their Ki as a result of it being the life force of every being, this would be something you could potentially do in the future, given enough time if you're willing to learn it. But that flying point isn't actually a ton of fun, so let's look at something a little more interesting. Let's look at, let's just say, what your vertical jump would jump to. Get it? The average untrained human male has a standing vertical jump height of about 16 to 20 inches. Plugging this into our handy Super Saiyan...
So, I have 21 inches of jumping height. About to. I know, that means I don't, but when you're about to do it, that means you're about to get there. You know what I mean? You're about to get there. You're already there, basically. If you're saying you're gonna do that, you're already there. So I can jump up to 21 as the height, or whatever. What did he say?
Would jump to. Get it? The average untrained human male has a standing vertical jump height of about 16 to 20 inches.
I have the standing vertical height jump of 21 inches. I'm about to do hurdles. Don't worry, man. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
Plugging this into our handy Super Saiyan transformation multiplier,
ain't no way I'm about to jump like that.
A height jump while in Super Saiyan of 800 inches to 1000 inches, or 66.7 feet to 83.3 feet. This would allow you to jump the height of a 6 to 8 story building, making it so you would be able to leap buildings in a single bound. So while the limitation of not being able to fly would be something kind of annoying, you would just be able to kind of Incredible Hulk it and just make superhuman leaps across the city or wherever you're trying to go. Back to this discussion though, if you wanted to talk about something more interesting like striking strength.
That's a story for another time, man. We ain't talking about Hulk here, man. We not talking about how he could turn into Hulk. The strongest Hulk in comic history. The strongest Hulk, well, used to be the strongest Hulk in movie history.
Or how much punching force you would actually be able to emit. This somewhat does depend on your training level, as boxers compared to untrained athletes have varying levels of force they're able to output with their punches. No duh. The untrained human is generally able to output 100 to 200 pounds of punching force, which times 50 translates to 5,000 to 10,000 pounds of force. If you wanted to look at
definitely more than Ryu.
Higher end for this, the average punch of a professional boxer ranges from 500 to 1,000 pounds of force. Considering this same multiplication for Super Saiyan, this would put you from 25,000 pounds of force to 50,000 pounds of force. Now this actually isn't worth as much until you actually get into the idea that your punch would also be moving 50 times faster than normally, which is directly what's going to impact the energy that you're going to output and the overall damage you can exert, not only on whatever you're punching but the surrounding area. If you're basing this off an untrained individual, their average punch speed would range between 13 to 20 miles per hour. Also comparing this to a professional fighter whose punch speed would range from 20 to 25 miles per hour, you would get between 750 to 1250 miles per hour. This would actually put your striking speed at roughly Mach 1 to 1.6. But again, the bigger overall effect is the energy you are going to be able to output. Taking in the average mass of your punch, which is variable depending on if you're an athlete or not, because the average mass generally ranges from 6 pounds to just over 15 pounds compared to actual Olympic athletes or just professional athletes in general who can actually get upwards of 66 pounds. You actually plug this into the kinetic energy formula, which is 1/2 times mass velocity squared, and you can actually get something upwards of 281 kilojoules or 281,000 joules using an 11-pound punch as a unit for the mass of our punch. This actually is enough.
What? Like, no, I'm not just gonna pretend like I understand what he just said. All right, a little bit of a go, I said right, but I'm just being for real. I'm just being real. I don't know math like that. I don't know math like I don't know what joules times 250 equals 80. I just killed my own whole brain cells. That's crazy.
Energy to like charge your phone twice, or like once or twice, just by throwing a single punch, which is pretty crazy. While this is all very impressive, I think there are some bigger questions we need to ask. Can we take over the world? Well,
Space alien.
probably not. You'd be pretty powerful, like we've already been establishing, but there's a couple problems with you trying to take on the world 1v1. And it heavily depends on not only can you manipulate your ki, because if you can't, you're kind of cooked. First and foremost, the world would have options for you if you just declared war on the world in the form of a neutron bomb or just a dirty bomb, both being laced with radiation or radioactive waste.
It's gonna cause a whole war. It's gonna cause a whole war. You doing whatever you want in the world, that's not how life works, man. That's not how life works. That is not how a war works. There's causes to it before the army has to get situated.
Despite how fast you are, you would not be able to outrun a neutron bomb. The burst releases intense neutron radiation that travels at roughly 1 to 5% the speed of light, which is Mach 8,810 to Mach 44,050. So you're not outrunning shit, dude. You're getting cooked. You're not going to be able to do anything.
I mean, they can. If you think about it, they can kind of outrun it because Goku kind of outran the explosion in Namek.
About it. And despite going Super Saiyan, you would actually have no innate resistance to these types of attacks, as at the end of the day, you're still human. You're still gonna have to eat, drink, sleep, and can still be poisoned. I mean, even characters in Dragon Ball aren't immune to certain hexes unless they're just distinctly above them, which you most
because they're Saiyans. They immune, bro. They can hang out in a whole volcano inside of it. They can hang out inside of a volcano and just talk with each other.
Certainly are not going to be. Furthermore, there is the question of if you're just going to be able to just tank bullets. Bullets are overall a bit more difficult to tackle since more force put into a lower surface area results in a much stronger localized impact due to the energy having nowhere else to go. So you're dealing with something a bit different than blunt force trauma, which you are going to be more suited to take on, especially if you're going to be able to move your body and not have it get obliterated from moving at these speeds or being able to lift this amount of weight. But the problem with this question is that real human tissue isn't bullet resistant, meaning amplifying its strength and durability 50 times isn't really the clearest answer. This is a little difficult to talk about since human skin is more so tough and stretchy. It actually has a pretty decent amount of tensile strength, but this doesn't actually equate directly to puncture resistance. But we could still find a way.
Would still get shot.
Elasticity of human skin typically ranges from about 20 MPa or 20 megapascal to about 30 MPa or 30 megapascal. Megapascal is a metric unit of pressure or stress that equals 1 million pascals. Pascals are a unit needed to measure pressure and stress, the standard metric for doing so. This usually or commonly being associated with different pressures or just material stress in general.
Yeah, because your skin is more stretchy and stuff like you see. It can stretch like it can't stretch as like far, but It's still able to stretch.
This is taken under a younger
true.
skin model, and this does change depending on the age or hydration of the skin, the test method in question, or the body part that you're looking at. But plugging this into our Super Saiyan multiplier, we would actually get a megapascal rating of 1500. This is actually less than half, or just about half, of Kevlar, which is one of the most common materials used for body armor or safety gear in general, meaning that if you go off this Kevlar metric, you probably just wouldn't be tanking bullets, although you would be far more resistant to them than you were before. You might be alright with
yeah. They still have the Matrix, yeah. I forgot the main character's name. He was a human and he took like a pill and stuff like that. That's all he had to do in the Matrix YouTube, not an actual pill, but he took like the red and blue pill. And then he took the one that gave them powers and stuff like that, and all these types of moves, not powers but move sets and stuff. And he grabbed them whole bullets like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. So yeah, you'll basically have that type of power with Super Saiyan, but even more faster.
Low velocity projectiles, that might just be an overall irritation for you. But once you actually get into firearms that are able to pierce through Kevlar or Kevlar piercing rounds, yeah, forget it. You're just not going to be able to walk away from that. If you actually did want to approach those bulletproof levels that we kind of want from our Super Saiyan transformation, we would need to go to Super Saiyan 2, which is a 100 times multiplier or 2 times Super Saiyan, which would put us in the 3000 megapascal range. But keep in mind, this still wouldn't mean you wouldn't be feeling bullets. So it's just a very hard thing to get across that we're actually going to be bulletproof with the Super Saiyan transformation, which just makes this whole world conquering point, or even just walking around the world as an unchallenged god, really impossible. Think the Hulk being bulletproof yet still being affected by bullets in his more conservative interpretations of the character. This is another reason for, even if you were very strong, you wouldn't really be able to walk around butt naked taking on the world while you're Super Saiyan. I don't know why I said you had to be naked, I just threw that in. Ignore me, bro. With all that being said though, even assuming that every
y'all know I'm gonna have to cover that, but I ain't getting demonetized.
part of our skin actually gets amped up.
Even if I'm not monetized, I'm bro, still. And even in the near future, like,
and
bro,
we just do gain an innate puncture resistance. We
No.
would have something closer to armor-like skin that would be very useful against smaller firearms. I would make the case, however, that this point isn't actually as relevant if you're just going to take on the world or try and 1v1 an army, as like we established previously, your physical body can only get so strong, but Ki enhances every aspect of a character from Dragon Ball's body, making them stronger, faster, and more durable. This is why somebody like Goku can still get taken off guard and get damaged by bullets when he's rusty, as if he's not actively defending.
So yeah, if you're, I'll say, like, if you are off guard, you is gonna have to catch, like, you are gonna catch a bullet, you know what I mean? But at the same time, he was in his base form. But I don't think it matters of his form. I think it matters if you take a bullet seriously like that. If you're not Superman at all, like, you're Superman if you have Super Saiyan 3 or 2, but if you have the normal form itself, like, yeah, you're still getting hurt by that. See what I'm saying? So
himself,
but that's just such a waste of energy, because now you have the power of that. So anytime you turn normally and stuff like that, that's all you need to do is stay focused and locked in and see, like, where the criminal is shooting his blick at.
His Ki, his defense is not going to scale to what it actually is at full power when his Ki and guard are up. You can even just look at original Dragon Ball, where this is presented to be the case, where Goku is actually able to tank explosions from Piccolo point blank, yet is taken off guard by Piccolo's mouth blast when he's convinced of victory, getting pierced through the chest. There's a clear limit, and the fact that you can not only manipulate your Ki, but you're just getting an overall buff means that you likely would also be able to get taken off guard, even if you are just a stronger variation of yourself. And somebody's gonna bring this up, so I figure I'll mention it. The idea of using Ki Blasts. And Ki Blasts are formed from discharge portions of Ki, but they are still technically an application of Ki, being a direct result of a fighter channeling their Ki in combat. This makes it so that if you don't have any formal ki training, you're pretty much not going to be able to use ki blast in general. But I mean, if you figured out a way to train your ki, you could start developing these techniques. It just isn't something that's contingent on the Super Saiyan transformation, as this is something that plenty of characters have done without it. I'm sorry to say, you're not really going to be firing a Gallic gun whenever the Starbucks employee gets your order wrong. So at the end of the day, if you actually were able to turn...
Why are we talking about this, man? Why are we talking about this? Why? Like... like, what probable cause would you really need to use your ki blast or your final flash in a Starbucks or in a McDonald's if they get your order wrong, or in a Chick-fil-A? Like, what?
Super Saiyan, not
Are we serious right now, man?
only would you be able to really just dismantle...
Are we dead at? Nah, I'm joking. But
walls
like, what?
or vehicles in general, but you would be something closer to a superhuman, or the closest thing I can imagine to it being is a more conservative interpretation of the Incredible Hulk. Super strength, super speed, and you're just going to be jumping all around the place. Maybe a slight bit less durable, however. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you agree, disagree, why?
Oh yeah, it's just that he was talking about like how, you know, some bullets won't count if you get off guard. If you get off guard, it's game over. You know what I mean? If you get shot with a bullet, and I'm talking about the normal Super Saiyan form. Yes, you can get off guard by that. Like, you can't get shot from that. It is kind of bulletproof. It's still a power at the end of the day, but there's no regeneration unless you turn Super Saiyan God. It's still a form with strength and then with all power. Maybe you'll heal quickly, but it's not like Deadpool. It's not you're not Deadpool, basically. You're not Deadpool or Wolverine trying to regenerate your body in some sort of way. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to watch more. He does let's see. He does Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3. So let me know in the comments if you are gonna be in the comments. Let me know if you want me to watch more of those. I might find time on doing that. But hopefully y'all did enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Be sure to comment below what your favorite part in this video is. And I'm out. I'm gone. Peace. I'll see y'all.